Hall of Fame, one of the most controversial discussions in all of the sport. And Gage has taken the liberty of listing some borderline Hall of Famers.
This was actually Sped. I do have to
Oh,
say,
shout out Sped.
He
Shout
came
out
up
Sped.
with he came up with the idea for this segment, and I was like, you know what, you came up with it. Tell me what players you want to hear us talk about, and we'll go from there. And these are the players that he came up with. So
shout out Sped, the best general manager that we did not appoint in the biz.
Pretty much.
As he always says, self-appointed GM of Totally Unqualified, which honestly, I think we should give him that title. I think that's fair to give him that
basically
title. Yeah. All right. So first player up, this guy was just recently signed to the team that he started with. He came home. Many of you know who I'm talking about here. Cam Newton. Luke, I'll start with you. Is Cam Newton the one-time MVP, three-time Pro Bowler, one-time first-team All-Pro, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and one-time Offensive Player of the Year, a lot of those coming within the same season, and NFL MVP? I mean, is he a Hall of Famer?
He is an NFL MVP. So when I'm thinking about Hall of Famers, I'm thinking, can I tell the complete story of the NFL without this player or with this player, or do I need him? And I'm leaning towards Cam being on the side of I need him to tell the story of the NFL. So therefore, I think he needs to be part of the Hall of Fame. His resume might not be the greatest, might not be the best out of some other quarterbacks that we've seen go in recent years. But I think he has done enough to where he'll eventually get in. Do I think he's first ballot? Absolutely not. But do I think he'll eventually get in? Absolutely. He's a superstar in the league for his prime. Okay. He's not anymore. He's not what he once was, but you can't discredit the season that he had in 2015, where just the crazy offense that he had with a lot of injuries. I mean, Ted Ginn Jr. was his number one receiver that season, and not many people.
Really impressive.
Yeah, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks
Greg
about
Olsen.
it.
He had Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen, yes. And that he had it was 35 touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns, I think, in that season.
Yeah, 45 total touchdowns.
Yeah. And he was great up until the Super Bowl where Von Miller, just had his day against him. But I think you need Cam Newton in the Hall of Fame to tell the complete story of the NFL. His 2011 to I'd say 2016 run was just outstanding. We've never seen anything like him. He, how like Michael Vick revolutionized the quarterback position and made it,
yes.
Made it so that running quarterbacks had a place in this league. Cam Newton, pushed that wheel even more. I mean, now it's Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray, but Cam Newton was also an an important part of that. So I think integral. Yeah. I thought about it for a second. I was like, I'm not quick on my feet right now, but I think Cam Newton needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
I honestly have to agree with that. I mean, I struggled with this one a little bit simply because statistically, he's not like Hall of Fame worthy as far as like passing and stuff, as far as quarterbacks go, of course. But I feel like his legs tell the entire story, because I do think that Cam Newton was one of the guys that is at the forefront of that rushing quarterback position, that dual threat quarterback, where Michael Vick kind of created it. Well, I don't want to say that because Randall Cunningham was doing similar things back in the day.
Steve Young.
Yeah, Steve Young. There's
Roger
been guys.
Staubach, Fran Tarkenton,
Yeah, but when Mike Vick came out, it was like, this guy is a crazy athlete. And then Cam Newton comes along, and we talked about it on the last episode, I think, is like the power back of quarterbacks. He gets in there, he runs guys over, and we were used to seeing more elusive guys. He's trucking them. So I think because of the accolades and because of what he was able to do on his feet, Cam Newton, yes, will get into the Hall of Fame. I also agree, though, that he likely won't be first ballot.
Yes. And I think to specify kind of the Michael Vick argument, Michael Vick, like there was a bunch of running quarterbacks before him. Michael Vick was the first quarterback to break the barrier of the quarterback being the fastest man on the field. That's what Michael Vick did. And also having the cannon for an arm. Like that was just literally unheard of. Like Randall Cunningham was fast, but he was not the fastest guy on the field. Michael Vick was, listen to any defensive backs that played against him. He was the fastest man on the field. It was not even close. But Cam Newton, this one really is tough. It is. That run was special. I think, but it's tough because it wasn't like crazy special, because when you talk about guys that had short careers, you got that are in the Hall of Fame, you think of Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis was a 2,000-yard rusher. He was like a 3-time first team All Pro, 3-time Pro. Like he went on a stretch there where he dominated. He only played like 7 years, but he dominated the NFL for like 3 of those years where he was like the best running back in the NFL. Cam Newton, he was the best quarterback in the NFL for 1 year. And yes, I just feel like it's such an argument against him that you would have to make a good argument for him. I think he has a possibility. He's definitely a fringe guy. I feel like he has a possibility of 20, 30 years down the line. If it's a weak class, maybe he gets in, because I think his lore is just going to grow as years come to pass, and people, that didn't actually see him play are going to watch his highlights and go, holy shit, how is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? Because those highlights don't include his 2018 through 2021 seasons. That's why he's not. But it's definitely an argument. I am personally going to say not, because I feel like he did. If he would have had 2 more dominant seasons, not even dominant, if he would have had 2 more like really good seasons where he was, like a top 8-7 quarterback in the NFL, I would say yes. But I just don't think he had enough of those seasons.
If the Panthers win the Super Bowl in 2015, is your answer different?
I think it might be.
Mhm.
I think it might be, because you can't take, because tapping off that special of a year with a Super Bowl championship. And I feel like that kind of, him not jumping on the ball, kind of, it changed in the same way that the Seahawks throwing it on the 1-yard line. Like a lot of those players will point to that moment as the team falling apart. That was kind of the moment, because the Panthers never got even close to playing that well again.
Yeah, the beginning of
and
the
then,
end.
exactly. At that kind of moment where his teammates might have been like, damn, dude, like you didn't give up your body on that one play for us. Like you couldn't just do that one thing. You had to kind of like bail out.
Yeah.
I think that's why it would be different.
Let me put another twist on it. Let's say he still doesn't win the Super Bowl, but they have that undefeated season. Instead of going 15-1, they go 16-0. Do you think that puts him over?
No, I don't think it does. So? I don't think it does, because if you don't win the Super Bowl, if you don't tap off, because think about the Warriors 73-9 team. They didn't win. Yeah. They didn't win. Like the Jordan 72-10 team, I think will always be the best team of all time. I think they will be, because the talent on that team, and they did it. They won. To be the best team of all time, from start point A to start point B, you have to be the best team. You have to be special through every single game, every single week. Obviously basketball is different because there's, 82 games. So, and they lost 10, which is insane.
Yeah.
But you got to be a special team, to be that 72 Dolphins team. We still talk about them to this day. Why? Because it's not that I don't think if they won the Super Bowl and still had gone 15-1, that we would be talking about them in the same light. Yeah. It would be a great team, but we'd be talking about them as a great team, a great Super Bowl team.
As one of the best teams ever, not like
exactly
as potentially the best team ever.
Yeah. If Cam Newton goes undefeated, wins the Super Bowl, I can definitely make that argument that he should.
We'd probably be talking about them like the 07 Patriots.
Exactly.